This is Daryl Martin with ApexInvesting.com. We're doing a THT session with Lori Hell in the room, going over Chris's charts. So that way, traders can learn from their mistakes, always be inside the elite room so you can take advantage of lessons like this. But we wanted to record this so you could take advantage of it just in case you weren't in there today. But make sure you're in the elite room. We're going to go over a lot of the losing trades today that the trader took in order to, glean what lessons we can from them. What lesson?
Okay, that cut out on me, but okay. So his first trade was this TX going short after a nice little trend down, and it had a little breather, and he was going to take it down. Looks like it could be a halfway decent trade. It's naked because the paw did not land within 2 ticks of anything else, any other order print information. Order print plot, sorry. So he went right into a mini magnet paw, which is dangerous, with another mini magnet right underneath it. So it's kind of scary. If you look at even the ice node here, it's a huge, big, long ice node. You see this ice node back here? It's a navy blue. It's the dark blue kind of combines with the background back here. Just a little tip to tell you that was a really strong price level. And what happened? Eventually, it stopped it right there at that price level. It's something we don't talk about every day, but it's something to take note of. And the mini magnet was right a tick below it. Okay, so that one lost. If your take profit would have been a little bit above that, you would have had a little bit of profit. You didn't have a lot of room, but you had a lot of gook in here. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on that one? Okay, you just bumped your head on some stuff. And we're taking his losing trades. Okay, I don't have a screenshot for trade 4 or 5. His chart showing the ice node. It does show the ice node. Comes out to here. It doesn't show it as strong as mine does it? Right, I mentioned that should take profit above this mini magnet. Turn your auto typer off there. Okay, so Chris, I don't have trade number 4. I don't have a screenshot of, and trade number 5 I don't have a screenshot of. So I'm going to skip to the next day. It was coil chop, but at this point he did not know it was coil chop. It looked like just one and going back in the direction of the trend. Okay, so Daryl says, yes, we did know it was coil chop because you had a down bar, then an up bar, and the setup bar was a down close. That makes it coil chop. Alrighty then. You need a cluster on the bar before, which would be this one, and a TX and a mini magnet in order to take it. Well, I have to agree with that. You need a cluster on this bar, and you need a TX, which we had, but you need a mini magnet also in order to take this one. Okay, question is, in short, you would be looking for a minimum of a 2-bar retrace not to be considered coil chop. Yes. Okay, any other questions? Okay, the next one, I'm going to bring this over first. It was the next day, the next morning. So he took, right here, another coil. Is that the same one? No, it's the next day. Same setup. It's a coil chop one. Now he knows better. It's almost the exact same setup. Wow. Okay, it came down and it went up, and this one closed down. This was your setup bar, so you wouldn't take it unless this bar had a cluster. Make it bigger. Okay, do you see that? Okay, so this one you moved your stop to the wall. Oh, you moved your stop to the wall. It needs to be behind it. Yeah, you're asking to get hit if you put it on it. It has to be behind it. You got stopped out, and then you got right back in the trade. Oh, no, Chris, we don't do that. You do not get right back in the trade when you're stopped out. So you should not enter the coil chop. Okay, there was a cluster on this bar, but if you wanted to enter it, it had to be on this bar. With a full TX on this and a mini magnet even makes it better. And do not hop back in because it's going back in your favor. That'll earn you a shot collar. Your second entry was, you're still in chop. By this time, you can plainly see you're still in chop, and you even had some coil. You had a down, up, down again. So yeah, both of those are invalid and ick. Okay, any other questions? Stop taking coil chop trades, Daryl says. This was before he knew about that, so this is why we're doing this. We're learning this stuff. See, one simple coil chop rule would have avoided all of these bad trades. Aren't you glad you did this? And you guys that don't give charts and don't ask questions, yeah, you should be awful thankful Chris did and does. Okay, the next trade. Wait a minute, that looks like the same one. It is. Isn't it? Yeah, it's just two trades on one screenshot, and we covered them both already. Okay. So I'm going to go down to 4-2, which was, what day was that? Yesterday. Okay. And again, he had a lot of good winning trades in here. We're only going over the bad ones to save time. Even going over a few of them is great. We don't have to have everyone. This works. Okay, so you had a general uptrend. It looks like 3 clusters in a row here. Ouch. Okay, so you come up here and you have a, what is, okay, it's a T, I see. There's no, No, I don't see. Triple dip? There's no trapped order. So my question is, what were you taking this for, Chris? Look at the second link. Oh, he's getting complicated on me now. Okay. Triple trap? No, no, no. Oh my gosh. Triple dip with TX. The trap was on MES. No. You never split up your parts of the trade. MES never does ever override. Yeah, you would have, if you wanted to do a triple dip is one thing, but, and a TX, no. It's hard to tell if this was a full end, no. Check out where NQ walls are on that trade. Oh, goodness. Okay. Here's NQ. Let me put it up here so I can grab it. Whoopsie, wrong way. Okay, where is this? 335. Okay. 335, right here, of course. Huh. Okay, you've got this up above it, thumping its head, and a wall right above that. So would you probably expect it's going to just pop right through that? Probably not. Do you see where they are? This right here coordinates with this right in here. Oh, the MES is a different time, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to go back to this one where it's Okay, so we want to go to the 441 then. I was looking at the other time. I didn't realize they were different times. So we're looking at about, it's hard to say in here, 441-ish. Right before the 441. 43, no, we're not the right date. I didn't think that looked right. What am I doing? I went the wrong way? He trades 24 hours around. 24 hours all day. No, I found you have to use this page thing or I'll mess up my order print information. I found that out the hard way. That's why I don't like to scroll my charts during the day, and right now the charts are still running, so I don't want to mess with them, so I have to page it. Otherwise, I get error messages, and it's not pretty. Still at 9, so we gotta go to 423. Okay. $4.41. So it's somewhere in here, and there isn't an NQ wall, unless it's this. It doesn't give us too much of a clue, I don't think. It's hard to tell exactly where this is. Go to 441. Here I'm at 441, right in here. Oh, duh. 441. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm with you. What Daryl's trying to point out was that Chris bought here, and the market was heading right into an NQ wall. Probably somewhere in here. It's hard to say because it's between 23 and 41. So between 23 and 41 was probably right around, you had a wall right in here. You were buying into the wall. And so if NQ has a wall, that's something to be aware of. And the NQ walls are stronger than these ES ones. The NQ walls have been around for years. That's what we're trying to point out here. That's why I'm looking at an NQ chart and not an ES chart. Trying to see if there's an NQ wall around. If there is, that might have given you a hint that it wouldn't go much higher. The NQ walls, they're battle tested, and they've been around for years. I've been putting NQ walls up for years. We have a video on that under webinars. They can be reviewed, entitled ES leading using NQ wall. So we have a webinar. Go check that out. Okay, so do you kind of see you're going into, there was a wall on NQ. There wasn't much on ES, but you did have an area. This is what sticks out to me the most. 3 clusters in a row, and then another one up here saying, yeah, you're not done with the choppy area. If you drew a box around this, inside that area, don't trade. That's what I would be. That's what would stick with me. I mean, yep, they're behind you. They're not real close. You don't have to watch out like that wasn't the bar before or including the setup bar. But when you get that many and you are in an area, I mean, it's so close. It's defining an area, and it has mini magnets, top and bottom, and you still have some more down here. When you're in that area, you're going to have chop. And yeah, you're right at the top of it. So you'd think, yeah, maybe I'm going out of it, but you're going into an NQ wall, and you're bouncing around an ES wall. It's just not real clear. That 3D setup, should the volume be on the 3D bar or the bar after? The thirds have what? Oh gosh, somebody's got to help me with the 3D rule because I don't remember it. Oh, you do have volume. Okay, so you had a triple dipper. That means on that bar it was more than 75%. It was between here, so that the bar has to close. Okay, now it's valid, but you would have the NQ wall. Technically, it's valid. Okay. Thanks for helping me out with that one. I don't do it. Those that really have a clue. Sorry. Okay, let me see the next one. Okay. On ES, they were, oh, okay. They were designed for a rangy NQ. Okay, so let's look at the next one. I'm going to get this chart out of the way for the moment. Okay, I can't really see what was going on before, but you had a, do you have, okay, there's your trapped. So you have a TX with a paw. Was it within 2 ticks, so it was enhanced, or no? I can't tell. And a cluster, and you went short. You almost took profit. Now, okay, in ES, we know, what do we know about ES and deviation? Okay, you went short because the DR showed short. Okay, what do we know about ES and deviation? We know that ES respects deviations more than any other market. They work in ES tremendously. So this is the half deviation. You got to be really careful. And if you look behind it, you'll see an ice node that comes out more. And I know we haven't really talked about those in a while, but still, when you got an ice node that comes out, sticks out, I mean, it really, it's not just a little bit more, it is head and shoulders more. Right at a deviation, that's going to be a heads up to pay attention and maybe pull your stop closer. I mean, it was almost a full profit there. Am I wrong? Deviation levels are more accurate on ES than any other market due to its high liquidity and in the ES options market. So you almost had, you had a pretty good profit there, almost a full profit, looks like. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, I would have been pulling my stop to protect here, I think. Expect oscillation at any deviation level, yeah. So while it may have been valid, it wasn't the smartest choice. And yeah, then you did have coil chop, and you could have, you had a chance to get out at break even. You had a cluster here, and the next bar had a cluster, and you stayed in. Obviously, you didn't get hit, which is good. You had your stop back here. And then you came down. You could have got out at break even or close. I mean, yeah, I can see you took a smaller loss. That was good. And eventually it did come down and break, it looks like, so, but still. It moved fast, so you couldn't get out fast enough. Okay. So you did pull your stop down and protect a little bit when you started to see chop. Okay, that's good. Okay, so is all this helping little stuff that we see? I mean, it's always easier to see after the fact. There's no question about that. Okay. This is another one. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Okay. So you're got a nice big run here. It looks like pretty decent run. Okay, ho 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 ho. I gotta, okay. If the bar after you get in pulls all the way back, you know the next bar will turn it into coil chop. Move your take profit to break even immediately. Okay, go back and show the chart. Okay. Okay, this one. Wait, that's not the right one. Here we go. Okay, so you got in here. The next bar pulls back. So you've got coil chop. If the next bar pulls all the way back, you've got coil chop. You have one up, one down, one up. And by the time you have this one, you also have double cluster. So you know you got double chop here. I mean, you got cluster, you got the coil chop, but you also have the cluster telling you look out at the same time. So you get a chance to move down. Take it. Get out. Get ahead of it. Get out. Immediately move your stop down. And he said that moved real fast and he tried to pull it down. So he did good. Oh, move your take profit to break even. Okay, move the take profit up to break even. Got it. It's hard to watch the chat and see what I'm saying. I hate that we can't both be talking and get it recorded. Yeah, I know you do. Okay. Isn't there an F key that moves the stop loss automatically to break even? Not that I don't know. Not that I know of. The stop loss wouldn't help. Yeah, you wanna move your take profit to break even. So if it comes down and nips it, it'll get you out. And at that point, I'd be moving my stop down too. So you got either one. Okay, so are we good on that now? Can we go to the next one? Okay, the big point is you have time to move to break even, not time to move the stop on this. Move the take profit. If you move the stop, it will immediately get you out. Yeah, I was saying once it gets down to here, pull your stop down. But Daryl's saying immediately move your take profit up to break even, so if it does come down, you get out. You hit close in the chart trade, you're gonna, who knows what you're gonna get. If you hit close, you're gonna take the loss, and it's already near max. So I can do that. I love making Daryl type all this out. And you're gonna get a market fill. Yeah, that's right there. Yeah. I know, you couldn't hear me. I was gonna make you just not hear me then. Okay, here is another one. I'm gonna put these, see if I can get these in order. Okay, so here's one we started. Okay, he had a pretty good little run up there, and then he came down and was ready to take a short. The next bar went up. Well, what do we have now? We know. What do we have here? We have an up, a down, and an up. So what do we do? We have coil again. Yep, run. Wow, that's a good question. What kind of entry is it? I was just not even Oh, okay. He's taking an entry off the MES. That's what it is. A full entry off the MES, and there's actually a little bounce. I mean, you're bouncing off something, but okay. So you've got an up, a down. It went up again, and what happened? You know to pull your take profit down to break even. In this case, you really didn't have a chance. He went short here against DR, against the trend, because MES had an entry. Bad trade. He had an not an ETX. He just had a TX. Oh, wait a minute. It is an ETX because it has a mini magnet, a fresh new mini magnet laid on top of an old one. So it's an ETX on MES going against that little trend, against DR. But now we can see that it's coil chop right away. So what do we do? In the big run up, not even ETX work. Yeah, you had a nice clean run there. I wouldn't be taking it just going down no matter what. By the time this bar closed back up and you were in, that's coil. Okay, I'm gonna read what Daryl's saying. I'm pretty big on not going against trends, even with ETX. Just lately, the way the markets move. Let's also check out NQ, see if anything was there. Okay. Here's NQ. What day are we? We are on the time is about 8 o'clock on 4/2. Let's see. You're right around 8 o'clock. Yeah, look at this. 7:59 and you're here. 8 o'clock, you're here. 1 second. It's moving pretty quick, and you have a wall in here. That it's dancing with a wall. Oh, I love these patterns here. Comes up and tests the resistance, breaks through it, tests support, and goes. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so you had this, but it's hard to say the exact time because this was, it was moving fast. So I'm not sure how much help that was or wasn't. Dancing with Walls, a new movie. Okay, so you get I'm seeing most of your trades is you're getting hit with this chop. So the DR here, but I wouldn't be going against that. That's a clean trend there, pretty clean trend. I mean, you didn't have any major pullback. Here on this part, if you look over here, this is a rangy trend. I mean, it's kind of angling up, but you got pullback. So you might expect another one. But on this, it's going straight up. Does that make any sense? Okay, let me see what. I don't know if this is the same one or a different one. Kind of losing track of which is which. Nope, that's just So what's the trade 10 now on the list? Okay. In ES, where he just switched sides around. Okay, so you hit, it bounced off a mini magnet paw. The general trend is up, it looks like. And you just, let's see what we've got for DR. DR is green. On the bar before, it's green. Your general trend is up, and you're trying to take a retrace down. But okay, he's seeing the setup is on MES, but he took it on ES. Wow. It was naked anti-DR. If you would have waited one more bar, there was a naked bouncing off a mini magnet going up on MES, and it left a paw here. That would have been, you're still running into a mini magnet paw. The next bar would have made it coil chop, that's true. Once that next one closes, you're in coil. But the point we want to make here is that it was against DR, and it was naked. A naked one must be with DR or in a complete range. It should be with the trend, and it wasn't. Or you have to have divergence. Okay, if you can't see the chart, you're looking that you want to put mouse over your hot com, and you'll see some charts. Okay, so that was trade 10. Okay, here's 11. Okay, you were going short. No, you were going long back with the trend on a TX. Looks to me like one that just didn't work. That would be right in here. Yeah, you're taking a trade long after OD divergence. Well, that's true. We might have had something in, let's see, what time is this? 10:24-ish. Let me see what's going on about 10:24 that day. There are no walls in the vicinity. There are no NQ walls. It's interesting, though, just to point out over here, it's interesting to see that NQ was in a tight range, and it had a good border and a pretty good border down here. So it's kind of interesting that if it's in a range, ES is likely to go into something like that too. Just kind of interesting. That range will be respected. And you'll see it kind of, you've got a mini magnet here, a mini magnet and a paw here, and a ZOI in the middle. You've got stuff starting to print in here. And what's starting to go down, it's just kind of telling you probably have chop in this area. Yep, what's coming off a ZOI? And the thing I like about it is that it was following the trend. It had a paw at the same level as a mini magnet paw. But if you look at all the other clues, they're saying it's not one of the best. You missed the OD short, which was an awesome setup near 50%. This one. Yeah, I don't like that one. Okay, you can have it for an awesome setup. It was about 50% of OD, absolutely. So you have divergence, and we've talked about that. When you have divergence, do you want to go back in the direction of the trend? Not so much. So Chris says, I'd like to note my head was not clear yesterday morning. Then you should not be trading. Look at the entry before that. This one? Which entry are you talking about? We talked about this one. It's invalid because by the time this set up on MES, it was coil chop. But yeah, we had talked about that. Okay, so that was trade. What trade was that? 11 or 12? Let's see. Okay, that was 11. So here's 12. Okay, it had almost half of the divergence from 14K. Oops. So the OD at this time was at about right around 7, you're saying. Interesting to note, you had a star 4 with a ZOI, it looks like. And then you had a TX. That's actually a really pretty little setup there. And OD was about half of it, and it just didn't work. I think that was one I pointed out in the room yesterday. Yep, that was one I pointed out in the room yesterday. Because I said, look at this. You had a star 4 and a ZOI, and it did not work out. It happened. That was just one that didn't work, in my opinion. But it was not a bad trade, I don't think. Because a star 4 with a ZOI, that's a really strong setup. And when you have a TX to go with it, yeah, I like those. And if I would have seen it, I probably would have taken it. OD doesn't stick around when it's always in progress. It's measuring the trend. So your trend keeps going, it's going to keep going. It's not going to stop. I mean, it stops, at that point, but the trend kept going. So if the trend would have reversed, it would have stopped and put a number here. But it didn't. It's got, a little leeway to see if it keeps going or not. Quite the learning for you today, huh, Chris? Yeah, I am tickled pink. This is how you learn and get better. And thank you again, Chris, for putting yourself out there. It's not easy to do. Daryl said this little thing is even good for him. It's how you stay sharp. Good to reinforce all this stuff. I mean, there's so many things to always be looking at, and you just don't remember all the different things. Like I mentioned the ice node a couple times. It's not something we look at all the time. It's not something that every time we're going to pay attention to the ice, but sometimes they just stick out, and it makes a difference. I noticed that on this one as we're just looking at it. There's a long ice node in here. That would make me a little nervous to go short. Okay, so we have a TX short, naked TX going short here. It's against a green trend. Well, you did have divergence, didn't you? 10K compared to 18. Okay, so they're kind of questioning some more of the ice nodes. We don't really talk about ice nodes a whole lot, and the only time to pay attention to them is if there's something that really sticks out and jumps in your face. That's why they're so dark on this chart, because we don't want them in our face. We don't want to have to analyze and pay attention to every little thing. It's just when they really stick out, then they're kind of telling you something. Okay, Daryl says he would have taken this trade in a heartbeat unless something at NQ told him not to. And there was divergence, so you can go against the trend. Okay. It was a TX. It was a valid setup. It just didn't work. NQ had a wall in the way, someone said. Okay, show NQ. I sure will. Okay, here's NQ. The time is 3:40 something. Okay. .43. Okay. 3:40 something. That was this morning. Yeah, I see that. It was this morning. And this is the last chart, I think. Whoopsie. 3:40 something. $3.40 something right in here. Huh. What would have told us you've got an issue here? Went right into a wall. That trade's at 3 a.m.? No, that trade is at 3:39 to 3:48, somewhere in there. No, this is your trade. What? Are you kidding me? That is funny. I was looking at the wrong time. Okay. Let's keep going. That is funny. Too many charts. Told you I was off center today. Okay. So, let's see. 4.2, we're on 4.3. We're going the wrong way. Whoopsie. 7:49. See, I can't even do backwards today. Okay, 7:49. Oh, jeez, Louise. And then it's 48. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this trade was happening about 7:49-ish, a little after. 749-ish, a little after. Well, it's heading for an NQ wall, but this is 740. So just before 747, so when it was right here, it was at this NQ wall. And then it ran up and came down at 749. It's heading into the wall. It's hard to line up with a specific time. So it had a wall it was messing with. It's hard to say exactly where it was, the exact time. But it, let's see. You had divergence, OD divergence there. I don't know. I don't see, and you were green. I don't see any. 750.09 was the exact time. Okay, that would be right in here. You're at green eye. You had room. You would have taken it. That's what I was just going to say. You would have had you had divergence here, and I was going to say I think it looks good to me too. You had room before this mini magnet, so if you're going to go running into a mini magnet, you had room to profit. You even had a big long ice node pulling it down here. You had one here, but I would, you know, it was just one that didn't work, I think. So you had a couple that you wouldn't have avoided because they were pretty good setups, and we can't avoid those. Nothing we can do about them. The market's going to do it. I mean, but the majority of them could have been avoided with that chop stuff. So you would have had a lot less missed. And those are all of them that we have screenshots for. So if you guys learned anything through this, thank Chris. That's all his losses for the last 3 days. There was a couple in the first part that you didn't have screenshots in that were losses. But he's got plenty of winners in there too. We learn more from the losers, so we're focused on that. He really did take some good trades in there also. But, you know, the good ones we pretty much don't need to go through. So that's good. We kept it so it wasn't horribly long. So there you go. Just want to again say that no other room, no other trade room anywhere is going to do a review of your losing trades and help you learn from them. Really important. And it's also really important to post your chart. I mean, you've got the opportunity. You just need to take advantage of it. Check us out. You get free access at www.apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. Be engaged in the room. And Chris says, if you're not in a mentor group, get in one. These guys help. He posts in his mentor group all the time. So proud of him. And you can get funded with $50,000 at apexinvesting.com/funding. Chris, did you learn a lot today? Chris feels like he annoys us, but I'll tell you what, the traders that feel like they're annoying us, they're the ones that are moving ahead of us. The annoying ones are the ones who succeed. And Daryl is saying Lori is the most annoying one of all. So there you go. I will say I hold the record for the most questions, but I will also say I have to put a little disclaimer in there. I went through every video first, probably 2 or 3 times before I asked the question. I will put that disclaimer in because I did try to find the answer myself. So, but yeah, you don't know what you don't know unless you ask. And to get into a mentor group, you need to fill out the mentor form and follow the directions on that, which includes Skyping me, and that will be how to get into a mentor group. Recommend against trading this late on Fridays in general. Okay, that depends on the day, I guess. Lori, did I have a lot of losses starting out? It was interesting. Started out, I told you, I learned on camera. I had to fast track my learning. I was determined. I didn't care what it looked like. I had a chart on camera, and I was actually pushing buttons on camera. And people were telling me, no, don't do this. Yeah, do this. Do it like this. You know, put your order here. This is a good entry. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was absolutely nuts. But look where it got me. I wasn't afraid to look even a little bit stupid. I didn't care what I looked like. I wanted to learn it, and I wanted to learn it now. As I say, I wanted to learn it yesterday. Okay, if you want to jumpstart into a mentor group, just sign up for the $1 trial. Okay, so we're done with this. So groups are small groups of traders with experience. They've got some experienced traders in helping the newbies. They'll answer your questions and check your charts, and I pop in and help out from time to time also. How will you know when you get assigned? You have to fill out the form, and you have to Skype me, and then I will return your Skype message. And if you don't find the group in your contacts list, then you can Skype me again. You need to stay in communication. You can't just Skype me once, never check it, and forget about it. Okay, then Skype me again if you didn't get in. I can't say nobody ever falls through the cracks, because every once in a while I'll have 50 of them all at once, and yeah, sometimes I miss 1 or 2. And if I do, just remind me. Chris, I annoy Lori often, so you should too. You make me laugh. Okay, so I guess we're done.